you by TrueCar.
Access an exclusive audience of lower funnel car buyers through our network of over 500 affinity partners, including USAA, Sam's Club, and AAA. Close more sales in a cost-effective way. There's never been a better time to become a TrueCar certified dealer.
Live, that's what we are. We are live. This is Dave Villa, and I am here with the one. He came at the last minute. Came in at the last minute. Came on in running, man. What's up, Dave?
Man. I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Hey, we're like further apart or something, man, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Something's
like
going on
separation anxiety.
here. Yeah, I'm gonna scooch in.
Scooch in. Hey, I'm excited about today's show. Make sure you do me a favor and share the show. Do yourself a favor. Do everybody that's in the automotive business in your network a favor and share the show. Why? Because we have an outstanding topic today that we're going to be talking about. We've got a great segment today with some wonderful dealers, man. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you what's represented today, Dave, is some of the top dealers in the United States. And we're going to be discussing something that affects everybody from the dealer level all the way down to the salesperson level and everyone in between, front and back. And that is the process of tomorrow's showroom. The health, the status. What's the word I'm looking for? The condition of tomorrow's showroom. Where is this industry going? And we've got some controversial opinions, and from certain individuals that are going to be on today. Then we have some statements from others, and so we've got just a lot of things that we're going to be talking about. And so we're going to be talking about the showroom. We're going to be talking about the revolution of the car, the evolution of the car business, from certain perspectives. And it's not something that we haven't touched base on, but we've had such great traction and interaction with this topic that we decided to bring on some really strong dealers in various parts of this country that are moving some serious metal.
Yeah, and I look at the names here: Glenn Lundy, Matt Lasco, John Marazzi,
Brian
Benstock. I mean,
Rick Reichart.
Yeah, I mean, literally. I mean, when you go through that list of names, it's like they're all, not just. I don't want to call them heavy hitters. I don't want to call them leaders.
I will.
I mean, they're leaders. But what I'm saying is, like, they're the best in the country.
Yeah.
In these areas.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. It's so great, and it's what I love about the show. And I say I love the show not because we do it, not because it's our show, it's your show. I like the show because we're going to have here in just a few minutes incredible dialogue. It's discussing multiple opinions on this, and I'm not really sure you can say that anybody's wrong. What I can say is that there are multiple. Not only opinions, but those opinions are rooted in history, not ancient history, but current history. Last week history, last month history, and so these dealers, really have some insight, I should say. And I think that this is something that a lot of people that are, investors or, that are interested in dabbling in the auto industry, this is a show that they're probably going to grab a hold of and want to hear what these guys are saying, because what makes it tick. And I love what Glenn Lundy said. He and I was on Rise and Grind last week, and I think it might have been on that show. It may have been on another episode of his show. It may have just been in some discussion I've had with him recently. I'm not really sure which one, but one of those three. Glenn said something that I think he said that this recent revolution movement, I guess, that he's part of in the car business, that's coming out of the hustle and grind and the sales hustlers, and what he's seeing in his movement. He said it's reinvigorated and reinstilled a belief in the future of this industry, and really the people that have said, quote, I'm going to disrupt, or this industry is going to get disrupted. It's kind of put faith back into this industry and the people of this industry. And I'm interested to dive into that a little more with Glenn and with John Marazzi, Matt Lasco, again, Brian Benstock, and and Rick Reichart here. Rick said some pretty powerful things that we're going to share with you as well. And I think, let's just say this, Dave, Rick Reichart, the number one used car dealer in the nation. Okay. And that's not like this year. That's like, the guy who's doing it over and over. And I know Glenn Lundy and the guys in Paris, Kentucky at Dan Cummings Chevy, and also Dan Cummings Chrysler, a brand new point there. They are, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'll let Glenn clarify that, they're number 2 as far as used cars. And again, I don't want to misstate, but I think that's what I think I'm accurate. But I know this: they're moving about 900 cars a month, and they're doing it not because they're in a massive area. They're doing it with massive culture and with people. And you got Matt Lasco. That's in Fenton, Michigan. I mean, when you say Michigan, you think Flint, right? Or you think, you don't think Fenton.
Right.
And you don't think Grand Blanc, huh?
Detroit.
Yeah, but you don't. Yeah, you do. But you don't think Fenton.
Right.
And you don't think Grand Blanc. But Matt is moving over 350 cars in Fenton. By the way, 10 years ago, when I first started working with Matt, and he took the store over, he and his brother from his father, these guys were moving like 80. So I mean, this is not like a massive store, 10 years ago. This is a store that's evolved, and I want to hear how he did it. And then he took a Mitsubishi point that was awarded to them just over a year ago, and I think the numbers they're in the top 30, and I think they cracked the top 20 in the nation recently. And these guys are moving it for Mitsubishi. And they have John Marazzi, man. We've had John on. What a brilliant mind in the auto industry. But John is crushing it at Brandon Honda. We see John's stores because we're here in the community with Sun Toyota and Brandon Honda. 2 stores that before John acquired them, the Morgan Auto Group and John Marazzi became the managing partner, they weren't doing what they're doing.
No, not
at
even,
all.
Yeah, not close. And I know at least the Toyota store was a very successful store. We're not talking about stores that were taken over that were dogs. We're talking about good stores that became so much better. I mean, a lot of people didn't believe that they could raise the bar much higher at the Toyota store because they had done so well for so long. But to see them make that leap has been amazing. And, when I look down this list again, Dave, we talk about the best in the country, and they're not satisfied. And some of them are in, like you said, not maybe the most likely places you would automatically think.
Right.
So that means they're doing something not only right, but if they have certain handicaps, oh my gosh, you have to be on your game in order to overcome certain obstacles and still be at the top in the country. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to give a shout out to Rudy El Patron too. I know Brian Weiss and some guys are saying Brooklyn Mitsubishi. I saw some numbers just last week, and Brooklyn number 5 in the nation in Mitsubishi. That's pretty astounding what you're doing up there. Great job, Rudy, man. Excellent job with what you're doing up there in that market with Mitsubishi. But, and this is not based on, size. Obviously, we got some great dealers all over. This is a specific discussion. I'd love to hear El Patron weigh in on this topic as well, because Brian Benstock is up in that market, and he's really one of the champions of the message of how the car business is going to be disrupted. And he's not just talking it. I mean, he's, right now, Brian Benstock's going to be a few.
Honda store, right?
What's that?
Number one
Honda store.
Can't argue with that.
You can't argue with that. And Brian is going to be a little bit late onto this call. He's going to be coming on here in the next few minutes. He'll be coming in and joining because I knew he was coming out of a 4-hour meeting with Google. And so he's running a little bit behind, but when he jumps in the car, he's going to call in. So we're going to start with Glenn, Matt, and John. And then Brian's going to join us here in just a few minutes as well. But he's one of the voices, I think, that's bringing the controversial thought process. And I think where the controversy lies is not as he's succeeding with it, because you can't argue that. I think the controversy is, this message is wherever he's going, he's speaking it in every market. And there's just some disagreement and that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and you talk about the condition of the showroom and where it's headed. I mean, is it? I was thinking just a few minutes ago as you were talking. Should every market, does it need to be the same condition? I mean,
I don't think so.
Yeah, so
I don't think so.
We'll see how that ties in either. I don't either. I think whatever is the most effective way to move forward in your market is great. But I also have a lot to ask our panelists about today when it comes to that movement that we're seeing with the grind, with the sales hustlers. And I think it's invigorating more than anything, Dave. I think it's inspiring purpose. Right. We hear a lot now about why people come to work. They want to have a purpose and be a part of something bigger. And I think that that's one of the things that one of the benefits of what's going on with this explosion of culture in
Yeah.
the car business. So
You have a mic. Talk in my ear, Lou. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. The guests are on, and we certainly don't want to make Glenn Lundy and Matt Lasco and John Marazzi wait
no.
any longer. We are going to go to just a quick couple of minute break here, but here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to take a page from, I'm going to do it Glenn Lundy style. I'm not going to dance, by the way. I danced last week on Rise and Grind. I thought I did a pretty good job. I mean, for being whiter than Wonder Bread.
Toast.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm Latin.
You're
But
Latin.
I mean, I can't dance, but I danced pretty dang good on Rise and Grind, man. You got to go back and watch that last Friday's episode. I did all right. But I'm not going to dance, but I am going to ask you to share. And here's what we're going to do. You see these hats right here. You guys, if you're watched anything that we launched recently, Serial Sales Academy has blown up here. And we've got, just as of yesterday, Kim told me, you didn't know this, 3,225 companies have enrolled as of yesterday into Serial Sales
Come on.
Academy. Guys, that's strong. All right, that's strong, man.
That's awesome.
Thankful. I'm grateful and thankful. But we launched a massive, what we feel is a disrupting training platform into the auto industry. Serial Sales Academy has already been in, but we've launched Auto Dealer University, and we're going to give away some hats today. So I'm going to ask you to share. These hats are cool. Look at this, man. Look at this hat right here. And we're going to give away, we're going to announce it at the end of the show, and we're going to give away, you'd be the first one. Nobody can buy them. Nobody has them. They're just coming in. You see some of these right here. You're going to get an Auto Dealer University hat. And so share the show, and we're going to draw names at the end, and we'll announce the winners. So just make sure you share the show, and then you will be in the drawing to win one of these cool hats. And Dave, I guess we're going to be bringing on this guest here in just a minute.
yeah.
What do you
Go
think?
to commercial break.
You ready?
I'm ready.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Share the show. Hey guys, my name is David Villa
Hey, this is Joe Calla
with IPD in Tampa, Florida.
with JC Training and Development.
I've served the auto industry for over 25 years as the CEO of IPD. I also host a very successful and crazy popular podcast called Auto Dealer Live.
I've been in the automotive industry for over 19 years. I've held positions from new car sales manager, used car sales manager, salesperson, BDC director for the most profitable Toyota store in the Penske Automotive Group worldwide.
I'm a keynote speaker for conferences such as Digital Dealer, Hustle and Grind Con, and have worked with many of the top industry speakers today.
I've also been an NADA convention speaker, seminar speaker, 20 group speaker.
I've trained thousands of salespeople and have worked with thousands of dealerships, helping them move as many as 30 to 50 additional cars each and every month.
And have successfully ran BDCs producing over 450 cars a month in our stores.
I am pumped to announce my partnership here at IPD with Joe Calla to help you dealers move the needle in training.
I'm excited to say that we've partnered together with David Villa and IPD as their preferred trainer.
With more than 600 incredible automotive courses ranging from closing, prospecting, covering every major part of the auto industry from front to back.
And we've compiled courses for our new Auto Dealer University.
Closing, prospecting, uncovering objections, how to follow up, how to gain retention, how to get referrals from your current customers.
Courses like Sales BDC, Service BDC, Showroom Sales Training, Sales Management, everything automotive.
This will take your sales staff, management staff, front end, back end, individuals, current salespeople to the next level, doubling, tripling, even quadrupling the income that they make, and will increase the bottom line of your sales 30% to 40% each and every month.
This will fast track new hires, so-called green peas, salespeople who have experience from 1 year to 20 plus years. Inside this university is not just something that's going to be able to help your people with automotive, but it's going to impart, motivate, inspire, and charge up your entire team. Fixed operations training, service, and F&I.
This industry is too competitive, dealers, to not train. 85% of dealerships do not train. 90% of salespeople never read a sales book, never train, do not ever crack open a video. Don't be in that statistic. Be in the elite top 10% category and change the game. It's too competitive on Dealer Row for you not to have your people trained. So here's what I want you to do. Reach out. AutoDealerUniversity.net is part of Serial Sales Academy. We will help you, show you, walk you through, and teach you how to take your team to the next level. I look forward to seeing you very soon. Right, we're back. Thank you guys so much for joining us. So let's jump right into this amazing all-star panel of dealers and car guys all around. These guys are moving some serious iron, and we have the one and only, the man that is all over social media in Paris, Kentucky at Dan Cummins Chevrolet. Outstanding manager running a movement there, Glenn Lundy with us. We have the vice president of Lasco Auto Group in Fenton and Grand Blanc, Michigan, Mr. Matt Lasco. We have the managing partner at Brandon Honda and Sun Toyota, and John Marazzi on the phone as well. In just a few minutes, the managing partner, or vice president, general manager of Paragon Honda and Acura, Brian Benstock, will be joining us as well. And thank you so much, guys, for joining us and for allowing us to pick your brain on this topic that everyone's talking about in the industry. And Dave, I'm going to throw it to you, man. Let you kind of go with the first question here.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us, as Dave just mentioned. And we're going to kick it off with Glenn Lundy, General Sales Manager at Dan Cummins Chevrolet in Paris, Kentucky. Just absolutely killing it out there. And first of all, Glenn, thanks for what you're doing on a daily basis in the morning with your Rise and Grind show, getting up early, talking with rock stars, motivating people. It's obviously contagious at your store with your culture. We see so many things. And, today we're talking about the condition of the showroom and maybe what that looks like as we move forward. But, you got pretty fired up just a day or two ago when you, saw a video that was put out by Brian Benstock, and who's going to be joining us, by the way, and being able to comment and kind of go back and forth on his message. But share with dealers across the country what you took away from the video and maybe how it's impacted you and your message to your people.
Well, first of all, Brian Benstock he's a genius, man. Mm-hmm. The guy's a genius, and I really respect and admire what he's done for his dealership up there in New York. I'm really excited because he is going to be sitting in the chair dancing tomorrow morning on Rise and Grind, just like my man David Villa was.
Nice.
The other Friday, so he'll be chair dancing tomorrow. I'm really excited about that. But as far as his video, I'd seen it once before. He'd done a speech, and I saw kind of how his dealership runs, and then even more impressive than the virtual way that the frictionless car sales that Brian Benstock is focusing on. What's even more impressive was he had a 28% increase in sales year over year. 28%, man. And that's when he was already selling, 450 cars or something like that. So 28% is huge. It's not like he was selling, 100 and now he sold 120. He was selling 400 plus cars. Now he's selling 537. And so I think you can't ignore that statistic more than anything. A 28% increase in sales. Obviously, Brian Benstock is onto something. He obviously has a good idea in his mind of what the customers, what our buyers are looking for, and he's tapping into it in a couple ways, not just by offering them the experience that they're asking for, but he's advertising it in the right way to where even guys like me are getting excited about it. And if I'm getting excited about it, customers are getting excited about it.
Absolutely. And thank you, Glenn. And one of the things, I know Matt, going to Matt Lasco just for a second, and I want to read a statement. You guys were privy to the statement. I emailed it to you earlier that Rick Reichart, who was scheduled to be on, had a Hyundai meeting and was very disappointed he couldn't be on. He actually told me that he loves this topic and obviously respects everybody on the panel. But he asked me, he said, can I send a statement just in general? And I'm going to read that. But Matt, you've been on a couple of times with Brian, and I don't think that anybody anybody, anywhere, like Glenn said, can deny the growth and what's going on there. But this industry, and Cribbs and I talked about this a lot. This industry is represented all over the world, right? And of course, all over the nation. And then you have Canada that watches very closely, what the auto industry in the United States. And try to, follow suit and so forth. We just launched a big deal in Canada, and we're seeing dealers, they love what America does in the auto business, period. But, Brian, you had mentioned many times, Matt, that it's not necessarily for everyone. And we've had dialogue even privately and in focus groups with dealers where, dealers are saying, look, my market's a little different. And some of the things that I do wouldn't work somewhere else, and vice versa. And then there's some things that can kind of plug and play that we can all improve upon. Why don't you touch base a little on that as well, Matt, as we kind of just kick this whole dialogue, kind of get this whole dialogue going a little bit. So Matt Lasco, I'll go to you on that.
Well, you're right on, dude. I would agree that all markets are different, and definitely in that gigantic metro market, some of the things that Brian talks about, how he feels like, there'll be inventory lots off outside of the city and showrooms that aren't of today's world. That's probably true in some metro markets. To be honest, real estate in big cities is becoming untouchable for our type of a business. But what I really think that is true is the dealers, not the whole, have to listen to their market. And I know you're going to talk about Rick's comment. Ours is very similar. We've been delivering cars to someone's house for 25 years. That's not anything new. Mm-hmm. But it was a different reason. We had you on the phone. Hey, the wife's at home watching 2 kids. I can't leave the house, but I'd like to buy it. We don't want to wait 4 days because we might lose this deal. So I'll tell you what, miss, what if I type the paperwork and bring it to your house? Those type of things were being used. They were being used by the dealer to help you close the car deal, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what Brian's philosophy is that every buyer is wants to buy from home. And what most dealers are finding out, especially over the last 12 months, is very few of them don't want to visit the dealership. They actually do want to visit a dealership, drive a couple different models, see if the Eclipse Cross is as big as the Outlander and what's the seat feel like and things like that. So I don't think that it's going to take over the future of car buying for a long time. Mm-hmm. Will there be different avenues? Are these manufacturers going to put some stuff in the mall like Tesla's done and have people sit inside of cars? Yes, but I also think that you're going to have the natural traffic through service departments. It's nice to say you can go pick up and deliver every car until you're in a rural market, mm-hmm. until you're in Paris, Kentucky, and you've got to drive an hour and 15 minutes away to someone's house to pick it up for a recall that pays you $54. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be possible. And the manufacturers are squeezing dealers, not paying them more to do repairs. So is it something that we all need to be aware of and offer the service? Yes. I'm a firm believer that it's not going to take over the vast majority of shoppers for a long, long time.
Okay. Before, John, I'm going to let you weigh in on it, but let me read Rick Reichardt's statement here. And then, I know that you guys listening, just bear with me here. I know it's hard sometimes when you read a statement that's, decently in length, to grasp it. But Rick Reichardt, who, if you don't know Rick, obviously Rick Reichardt, top used car dealer. The guy's moving some serious cars in Ohio. He said this: we launched an actual digital retailing tool, AutoFi, on new Fords and used cars last year. He said, based on recent results and activity, and in quotations, 117 vehicles sold online this summer, we asked those eligible for home delivery, paperwork, e-signed, and finance products chosen if they want to take delivery at the showroom or at their home or office. He said, what we found, John, is what customers have been telling us for years. Buying a car takes too long, and that it's still the number one pain point because 100% of them 100% of them responded, I would love to come to the dealership to take delivery. They're excited to learn how to use the features of the vehicle, celebrate delivery. 45 minutes doesn't bother them. It's the 3.9 hour current national average that takes to buy a car. He said, I see a future of boutique shopping storefronts at retail areas like Lincoln is experimenting with. Service, inventory, etc. will be off-site where land is more affordable. Guests will shop vehicle info, conduct transaction, etc. in the storefronts with delivery there or home, and all stores will offer pickup and delivery for service. Waiting rooms won't be necessary. So that's Rick making a statement there, John. And I know that you run two very successful stores. Obviously, one of the stores in Brandon, we're in one of the top growing areas, Riverview, not too far from you in the country. So what's your opinion on this topic? And is it really as much as a disruption as some would say?
Well, it's a really good question because it encompasses so many different avenues. I agree with Matt that each market is different, and I would ask Rick, what's he going to do with the 35 or 40 acres in the buildings he currently has, if everything's going to be boutique and storefronts? What I would say to dealers listening right now is open mind to what's going on in the industry, but be very careful that you don't buy in hook, line, and sinker onto completely changing your business model. Our business is really simple. Part of Rick's statement was they want to do their research online, but they still want to come into the dealership to buy the car. I believe that is exactly the case. So what dealers really got to do is you got to concentrate on making sure that you're providing what the consumer is asking for. I did a quick look, David, of all the companies that were going to change the world over the last 10 years. You got Cez, Carvana, Shift, Cars Direct, Autobytel, Shift, Vroom, Joy Drive, Tread, Rally Road, Auto Gravity, DriveFlow, Flex Wheels, Karma, Fair, Borrow, DriveAway. And can anybody tell me any of those companies that are successful? And the answer is no. And if you go way back, this is not where, if you remember Jock Nasser with Ford Direct, and if you remember Scion with Pure Process, and you remember BP and GM with Shop Click Drive, you look at any of those programs where a third party and or the manufacturer tried to get involved, and every single one of them was a complete failure. The answer is for the dealer to tighten up their own business. Make sure your digital advertising's right. Make sure your reputation management is tight. Make sure your desktop website, but more importantly, your mobile website is tight. Make sure your research on your site is done. Make sure you have an unlock feature. Make sure your conversion tools are working. And then more importantly, if 70% of the people are payment buyers in this country, do you even display lease payments and retail payments on your website? So they're really what needs to happen. Now, I'm not saying that in a very densely populated city there won't be storefronts. I was just at the Mercedes store in L.A. A couple days ago. Yes, they have a land and a capacity issue, but the dealerships that have approved facilities right now and the land to service their customers, all they got to do is focus on being better business people, specifically on the digital internet side of their business.
Thank you, John. Was that Glenn?
I feel like we could end the show on that, but
that was mic drop.
John, I love the comments and appreciate them. Let's go to Glenn Lundy for a response. I know Glenn, you've heard Matt and John both speak. Maybe come back around and give us your take.
Well, I agree 100%. I love what Rick Reichert, said there about the customer always wanting. I believe, I don't know about always, but I believe the customer's always going to want to be able to come out, touch the product, feel it, because it's an emotional purchase anyway. It's not just a normal standard transaction. However, I think what we can't miss, especially with what Brian Bensau's talking about, it's not the delivery to the house. That's not the point. Like he said, Matt said, we've been delivering to the house forever. That's definitely not the point. The point is we can shave 3 hours off of the customer buying experience by giving them the option to go through and pick up their vehicle and arrange their financing and do all of that as though they were going to take delivery at the house Let them know that they have the option to take delivery at the house, even though they're not going to take it. But then they can show up at the dealership and they're in and out in 45 minutes. And that really is the area we have to focus on.
Baby.
That's what the customers want. They want the experience. They want the power. They want to know that they have these options. But it's not necessarily, it's not going to be the end all of showrooms, of dealership showrooms. I don't believe that at all. We just want to shave that experience for the customer overall by letting them go through most of the process at home in their pajamas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, okay, that Matt, you want to add to that a little bit, because I know I don't want to speak for Brian, and he's any moment here he's going to be joining us. I want to give him the ability to, obviously, because there's a lot that he said, especially on the show here, and he does have a lot of, I think, of concepts, and he covers a lot. Matt, you've been on a couple of shows, but maybe hearing what Glenn and then hearing what John have to say. Do you have maybe something else you want to comment on this while we're waiting on Brian?
Well, I think that, the guests you have on and the intro you gave, right, you spoke of very highly qualified car guys and super successful. I mean, you think of what Marazzi does and what Glenn does and the Cummings team, they're great, right? Well, we're all in agreement. I think the real area, and I'm very fortunate, I have a J Lasco, right? So our digital world, our ability to give you what you want from your couch in your pajamas is outstanding. I can text you any link you need, any video you want, any credit app, everything, etc. That allows me to be able to do high volume in a quick time because, frankly, the other industry issue is you can't compete against Amazon and Google to hire enough people in dealerships today's world. So you don't have enough to handle a ton of traffic in store all day long. You need to make it so when they do show up at the store, you can make it a quick, efficient sale. So by listening to what John and Glenn just said there, if you're a smart dealer, no, I don't want information overload you to where you can go shop and I lose you for a $100 deal to someone else. I want to comfort you with enough things online that make you say, I've done all my research on this site. This dealer has all these cars in stock. They've given me the yes that all these different items I want are there. So when they show up, we can make a quick, wise decision and therefore give them a great experience. And that's how you keep in-store need and necessity and, in my eyes, help, because it does strengthen the ability to close a deal or turn a profit for the dealers going forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, man. I'm with him.
So let's go back to John for a moment, and I just want to get your opinion, John. I mean, do you think that dealers over-focus? I mean, you kind of caution them to not hyper-focus on the companies that are going to take over, watch too much. I mean, what's the right balance as far as looking and taking away things from these other companies that coming in the marketplace and being overly concerned? John?
Did we lose Marazzi? All right, so
Yeah, I got you.
okay.
So what I say caution on are the people that want to try and run our business, the people that want to garner our customers and sell them back to us. You want vendors and you want partners and you need widgets and you need to make sure that you're constantly exploring how to do things a little bit better and improve the tools on your website. But what you really want to do is you want to make sure that you're controlling that and you're looking at it. You're not looking for this magic formula that's all of a sudden going to revolutionize the car business. What we do, we focus on the customer experience. So test how long the phone takes to get answered when they call. How long does it take to get transferred to the internet department? Does the person that answers the phone, are they able to intelligently talk about the deal, the advertisement, the TV ad, the radio ad, and what they heard? Did you develop a unique selling proposition? And can you state that? What do you do different than anybody else besides just saying you have the best price? And then look at your process from start to finish. what's the templates look like, what's the workflow look like, and are you really delivering what you think you're delivering in your internet department? And the funny thing about the traditional car dealership right now is they still focus 70% of their time on the front end and the tower and the front end lot, and when 80% of the business is coming in through the internet department. And my point to that, and there's probably a lot of people that are shaking their head going, that's not us. My point is, how many sales managers do you have on the floor? How many internet managers do you have in your internet department? And think about that question.
I love that. You know, Glenn, what I love about what John, is saying, and it makes so much sense to me as a business owner. And that's really, I could sit and listen to John Marazzi say that no matter what business I'm in. I train and teach business people in all different industries, and I can see a John Marazzi, regardless if he is a dealer principal in the car business, sit in front of any entrepreneur, any business owner, and have that message right there, and it resonates. And so what I think, and I'm trying to maybe translate this and kind of bring this to you, Glenn, is that's really a lot of where the industry as a whole, and even business as a whole, loses it. Because John said, and somebody commented and put a little pal there on Facebook, said the people that want to run our business. He quoted Marazzi there. And so I think that's such a powerful statement, Glenn, because the reality is, if you hire the right people, sometimes we're so geared to hiring salespeople, and we think we're so comfortable with them because they're salespeople, man, and so are we, right? And we understand that lingo. But I'm going to tell you, some of the most powerful people in my company are the behind the scenes marketing and internet people that literally can do things that allow us to maintain control of our business. What a powerful statement, Glenn. If we knew what we have at our fingertips, if we just tapped into the potential of people out there with the right skill sets and talents, that might be different than yours or mine, right? I can't do it, but I can sure surround myself with somebody who can. Glenn, talk about that and how the power of culture and surrounding yourself with people who can do what you can't do.
People, brother. I'm all 100% about it. I don't know where I read it or who said it. May even been Sean Hayes. Who knows? I'm always listening to all kinds of different people, which, by the way, this panel, I'm loving just listening to John and Matt. Like, I could sit here and just listen to these guys and learn so much from them. So I appreciate you guys' time and energy and being on the show with me today. I'm hearing some good stuff. But as far as, if there's something you're not good at, just plain and simple, there's an area that you're not good at. For example, Josh Cummins at our dealership here, Josh Cummins is a digital wizard. That's how his brain works. He understands that side of things. He understands, where to put stuff and the little cookies and the little attachments and how to retarget, and that's his deal. That's not my deal, at all. And I've spent hours and hours trying to learn it. And at very best, I will be average at it. I will never be a pro at it. So instead of spending hours and hours, trying to learn something that I'm only at best going to be average at, I try to make sure to focus my time in the area that I'm good at, as far as building people, managing my staff, connecting with my staff, creating a movement, getting these guys motivated, digging into the processes and making sure that our customer experience is over the top, the creativity level of our social media, the creativeness of our posts and of our advertising and our targets. That's my area. That's what I do. And I make sure across the dealership that I've got guys in the right positions, the positions that they're going to excel at, that match their personalities, that match their work ethic, that match, then it puts them in an environment where they're excited to come to work every day. And that's really how we're able to, how we were able to increase sales 800% over the last 7 years. Yes, we've tweaked processes. Yes, we've added tools and technology that make us better. But ultimately, even with the vendors and whatnot, we've cut back on a lot of vendors as far as our review response and our reputation management and all that stuff. We do it all in-house, man. Mm-hmm. We do it in-house with people that understand who we are and our image and how we do things. Because the people inside the house are the ones that are going to take care of you the best, They have a vested interest. And so
That's good.
Yeah, I'm definitely a firm believer. Put the people in the right spots to where they can succeed and watch your business grow.
That's good. That's good. Thank you.
Heck yeah. So let's go over to Matt. You know, I had a question. You know, we were talking about how, you know, culture is becoming such a big deal. And we just heard from Glenn talking about how he looks at Sean Hayes. Sean Hayes, a leader of the Sales Hustlers group. And we are seeing a movement all over the country within the industry. And it's almost like that is providing us maybe, and you share with us, but is that taking a little bit of pressure off of you that salespeople are becoming more empowered through social media and feel good about their culture just because they're tuned in to what others are doing?
Well, I think it might raise the bar for some of the ones that thought they were doing everything they could just do to succeed. Let's say I was a good sales guy, and I've been selling 18 cars for a long time, and I heard my boss for 5 years say, get a Facebook page. And I heard my boss for 5 years say, you got to work on a referral plan. And I never have really done it. But then I watch a couple of these guys out there, whether it's the Davenports and the Bill Halves and sales guys that are active, right? Mm-hmm. And I say, wow, if I was doing this, how much more could I sell? And I think that's the plus for the dealers about those groups. And at the same time, I also think that it might ignite a person that was sitting in a store that doesn't have the culture that they see is out there, and it might make a salesperson look for culture instead of just the chair, and that's good for the good dealer. The good dealer attracts better people, and I think culture is one of the strongest things we have inside of our stores, whether it's the Ford store or the Mitsu store. When we're humming, it's because of the culture. The leaders, all the way down to the prep department, is excited and loves what they're doing, and you just can't fail when that happens.
You know, John, I have the privilege. We have the privilege of being close to your dealership, and you know, some of your people have come, you know, even to some courses and things here, and just, I mean, one of the things I've told so many people that when I talk about you is how well represented you are, and I mean, I just meet your people. I mean, they're just excellent. And so, I mean, I'm going to go back to and just maybe have you touch base on being a businessman, being someone who, you know, I think that a smart businessman is someone who understands, you know, how to surround themselves. And so when I see different, and I know, you know, again, you know, it doesn't look like Brian's going to be able to get in here on this conversation, or if he does, maybe he can comment a little later, but because we're going to be wrapping up soon. But when I look at some of those comments, again, you can't argue with the success. But when somebody says, hey, there's going to be a disruption, or there's going to be, you know, you need to have you know, watch this because it's going to change the game, to the point where you said, you know, it causes people to maybe shift their business models, sometimes to their detriment. I kind of hear you or see you being such an effective businessman that you're doing these things yourself, you know? So how can someone disrupt when you're already disrupting? You're already doing it, but you're doing it at the dealer level. And some would look at you and go, man, the guy's a genius in the auto business. Why the guy, I mean, when he says different things, but you know, I mean that sincerely. I really do. And I can't tell you, when I went to Digital Dealer, I know you were unable to make it. You had a you know, an illness in your family, you know, close family member. But when I was at Digital Dealer, I cannot tell you this past year how many people were telling me, I can't wait to hear John, man. I tell you what, he's on your show. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. And so I got to think that it's because of those reasons. And it's why, you know, guys like when Grant Hawkey, and I've met him several times, he's come here, your quality assurance manager. I mean, if I close my eyes, the guy sounds like you. He talks like you. And so your DNA is all over the people that work for you. And so, I mean, is that what dealers kind of need to do? Become better business people like you and Matt and Glenard?
Well, I really appreciate the compliments. Yes, you know, the idea is winners win, but you got to make sure that as an individual, and you're doing everything that you can to do the best you can each and every day. And part of that is you got to educate yourself. And, you know, with us, it's all about constant, never-ending improvement. It's all about balance, spiritual, emotional, financial, physical, relationship, family. All of our people on the way to work, we're listening. We have a list of YouTube subscriptions that we all listen to. We have free audible.com audiobooks for any employee in the store. We have our list of recommended podcasts that everyone's listening to, and we have our books that everyone's reading. And so in our meetings, I mean, we're talking about Aubrey Marcus or Dave Anderson or Tony Robbins or Tim Ferriss, and we're learning different techniques, and then everything that we train we put in writing. So everybody in our store has what's called a training folder. So people believe half of what you say, all of what they see, and by having that info in print, it certainly helps them. And then what I'm doing personally is I take a minimum of 2 go-to meetings a day with different ideas. And the people I talk to, it's real simple. You got 10 minutes to tell me why I need you, and don't be upset if I tell you I'm not interested. I mean, an example of that is you 2 weeks ago when I talked about me wanting to put a dent in Hyundai and Kia, and you showed me that direct mail piece that would kill it. And as much of a fan of digital I am, I dropped that direct mail piece and absolutely killed it. And if I didn't have an open mind to that and picking someone else's brain and listening to what they say, it would have never happened. So our culture is a culture of winning. We want to put our boot to the throat of our competition, and everything that we do is about developing the right strategy, but more importantly, executing that strategy.
That's good.
Wow. Great comments, John. And by the way, I think I saw it pop up a day or two ago on Facebook. You might correct me, but happy birthday, John.
And he's getting married.
Oh, thank you.
Two of them in 1 week, man.
Nice.
That
Congrats.
is a true story.
That's awesome. So, wow, great comments. Let's go to Glenn real quick, and we're going to do closing comments with Glenn, Matt, and then we'll probably have John wrap it up. But Glenn, it's funny, we talked earlier about how salespeople are being inspired by other salespeople, and now we have, just an all-star lineup today of general managers, partners, owners, people that are running stores. And I'm not kidding about this, I talk with general managers all of the time that I'm friends with, some of which have been on the show, and these 3 names here, Glenn, Matt, John, come up constantly, and they go, you know what? I love tuning in because I want to hear from John, or I want to hear from Matt. I want to hear from Glenn. So Glenn, I'm going to give you an opportunity to do closing comments, and then we'll go to Matt and John again.
Well, again, I've been just sitting here listening to John and Matt because they're so strong, man. I guess in my closing comments, the only thing I want to say is I love what's going on in the auto industry right now. John just said it, as far as stepping on the throats of our competition, I'm 100% on board with that. We are winners, and we are here to win. At the same time, I love that we are coming together, the guys that are making the moves, the guys that are playing the game, that are staying, above board and doing it in a reputable manner. The guys that are taking care of their employees, like John was saying, putting them with the right podcasts, making sure they're listening to the right things, learning how to live life outside of the dealership. I love that all of us that are creating culture and making culture a priority and making our people a priority. I love to see that we are winning this game and that we're getting even stronger together. I once heard somebody talk about the future of the auto industry and how, it's possible that there could be just 25 to 30 major players in the auto industry that own all of the dealerships across the country. And to be honest, I love that vision. I'm sorry for all the little guys out there that want to stick to the old ways and want to do things the old, that kind of thing. Sorry to you guys, but I love guys like Matt and John and even the Scott Simons and the Brad Wise and the guys out there that are taking care of their people inside and outside of the dealership. So I hope we continue with this movement, continue to push people into the right, push people in the right direction, and ultimately make our industry something that can be represented. I can't wait till a movie comes out that shows the auto industry for the good people that it is and the good that it does in our nation versus all these city slickers and crappy videos and movies that are currently out there in the mainstream media.
Thank you, Glenn Lundy. I know, Glenn, you're going to be speaking at Hustle and Grind Con and in October on the 8th and 9th. And for those of you that don't have a ticket, make sure you visit hustlegrindcon.com. And I know, Glenn, you're going to be staying in the Hustle House. You could probably still have room in the house there if you guys want to check that out. And also, man, every day at 5:30, Glenn, I mean, I'm sure most people watching know already, but in case you don't, at 5:30 in the morning on Facebook, Rise and Grind, #Rise and Grind. You do a show every morning. Truly inspiring, man, what you're doing. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Hey, thank you, Dave, man. I absolutely love connecting with you. Appreciate your show and all that you do for the industry. You represent us well.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure. And then we'll go to Matt Lasco. Matt, thank you, man, for coming on. And I'll let you give your closing remarks here. I think, if anything, this has just been a great discussion with extremely successful, car guys in the industry that really, I think, sharing gold, just sharing just really good nuggets of what can help you be successful. So, Matt, I'm going to give you a chance to close out.
Thanks, David, and definitely thank John and Glenn for what you share. My takeaways and things for general manager dealers to think about. A lot of people mentioned, you heard Glenn say it's nice to listen to Matt and John. Well, John, you did a sales meeting, I don't know, maybe 5 days ago. You talked about a couple keywords your dad talked to you, and he said, son, it's your fault. And believe it or not, that was just one of your sales meetings I picked up, right? And I've used it not only at my dealership. We have a CrossFit gym. I've talked to people about things that they can control and not control, and then it goes into my normal life. Okay, well, that's me. Everyone knows 20 plus years in the car business, pretty successful. Know how to train and build my own staff, but I'm still trying to make myself better. And I think that some people forget, when you get the job is when the hard work really starts. So if you're a salesman and you want the assistant manager job, you bust your ass to sell. So then when you get to be the ASM, you don't get to cool off. You're actually supposed to work harder. And it goes all the way up to the top. So if you want to be the great dealer, you want to be the great general manager, you do have to listen to Tony Robbins, Ben Bergeron, John Marazzi, David Villa, 9 million people out there, and steal the things from them that will work for you and your team. And I also love the fact that Glenn brought up, because we work really hard. I've got a couple great managers that always put good things in front of their salespeople, like the Facebook pages or the podcast, or, hey, you should watch what this sales guy is doing. It's our job to put that in front of them because we're the experienced leaders. And the more you arm your team, the more you make them stronger and they see what you believe in, the better they'll do. It's the same story we all saw. If you have a kid out there, you could have grandpa go tell your son a message, the same thing you said for 2 weeks, but they listened to grandpa. Well, if you see someone spreading the message that you believe in, use that same person to spread that message to your team, and you'll go a long way.
Good. Well said.
Mm-hmm. Well said. So thank you so much, Matt, and we'll wrap it up with John Marazzi. We'll go back to you for a closing comment.
Yeah, all good stuff today. Great guest on. But, I talked about training and culture and leadership. The one thing that, your original point was talking about the frictionless society and what we can do with customers. I would strongly suggest that everybody shop their own store, and I would do it via your mobile phone. I would look, are you able to get a trade value? Are you able to apply for a car loan? Are you able to see payments? Are you able to do all your research on your own website without ever leaving your website? Because that's what happens. If people can't get the information they need, they go elsewhere. And have you figured out a solution to getting around manufacturer compliance? Most manufacturers will not allow you to post under invoice. Have you found a solution? And when somebody gives you the PII, is your website unlocking all of your prices, or are you making people go in and put their info in 4, 5, 6 times? So I would do that, and I would just understand that most dealers are doing a really, really good job already with their marketing and advertising and getting people to their website. Once they're getting to your website, make sure your conversion tools are rock solid and they're in place, they're working, and your parsing is working perfectly. And then more importantly, if you're getting those leads already and the average dealer is closing 12 to 15 to 16%, focus on moving that number 3 percentage points or 4 percentage points, and you turn out from a good month to an unbelievable all-time record month. You already have the action. You just got to make sure you're doing a better job with the action you're getting.
Man, that's good stuff. Man, guys, thank you so much. Incredible show, incredible comments, incredible guests. I want to thank all three of you guys for coming on, and I thank Rick Reichart for providing a statement as well. And you guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I hope September just crushes it for you.
All right, take care, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Man, what if I'm a dealer, if I'm a salesperson, if I am a general manager, if I'm a sales manager, if I'm anybody in the car business, internet manager, if I'm listening right now, I'm taking notes because listen, it seems like okay. You can put it back over here, Lou. It seems like that, convert what you have. But what John just said is we kill ourselves as salespeople in general. Listen, and I speak about sales a lot because it's in the car business and specifically a lot of times the general manager or general sales manager, right, or general manager, it came up through the sales way. Rarely do you see that fixed ops. You do, but you don't see a lot of times that fixed ops manager. Most of the time, it's a sales manager. Mm-hmm. Well, there's weaknesses in us salespeople, right? And we have to. What makes us effective as a salesperson sometimes can provide weaknesses as a manager if we don't surround ourselves with the right people. And what John said is so important. We kill ourselves trying to be drivers and squeeze extra business out of a drive instead of out of performing with what you have, taking what you already have and doing a better job of converting them. Yep. Because our nature is to drive. Yeah. So absolutely. We just go that route, which is good. But what if you did that and also had somebody over here helping you, making sure that your systems were rock solid, so to speak? Well, that's so wise.
That's where the fortune is, and John even mentioned it. Hey, that 3% difference is what changes a good month into a record-breaking all-time month. I mean, and that's where the difference is, and it's not that great of a difference between good and amazing.
Right. So. Absolutely. So, hey, let's just say hi. We're going to draw a name here in a minute. We're going to give away an Auto Dealer University hat. If you shared your names in here, and check these hats out, man. If you haven't checked out Auto Dealer University, it's autodealeruniversity.net, and it is incredible. Just found out yesterday in our marketing department that we signed up company number 3,225. 3,225. And Auto Dealer University is...
and it's just getting started.
Oh, yeah. 600 video sets, 16 trainers in Auto Dealer University. Yeah, it's stronger than New Rope. All right. So you want to check it out, autodealeruniversity.net, and take a demo. But we're going to give away a cool hat for you to rock out. But let's say hi, Dave, to some folks that are listening.
Let's do it.
I want to say hi to Matt. Can you read it?
Yeah.
All right, make sure you can say it. So how about I do the first 5 on the bottom, and then you go. Sure. Matt Carver, what's up? Joel Curto. We got Tim Rowe. We got Eddie Stefan. We got Jeffrey Lee Parton. I love it. Jeffrey said, grow daily. Heck, I don't want to sell forever. I always want bigger and better things. Scott Simons, what's up?
Yeah, keep scrolling up. We got Aaron. Whoa. Aaron, whoa. We got Sean Hayes. We got Michelle Polly McLean.
Kevin Fry.
Michelle? Kevin Fry. Come on. We got Billy Honecker in the house.
Timothy Grant Harrell.
Yeah. This is, to me, one of the coolest things in the show,
Cummins.
Dave, is being able to just go down and see all the people that are jumping in one after another,
Absolutely.
and the engagement. Love those hats, they said. So,
all right, well, let's do that right now.
Yeah,
what do you say?
Do it.
All right, Dave. Somebody's gonna get a cool hat, man.
do it.
Someone's gonna get a cool hat.
I don't even have my card in there.
Huh?
I don't have my card in there.
Yeah, you can get one anyway, man. Who's that say there?
Woo!
I'm gonna give away 2 of them anyway. Who won? Who
It
won?
starts with an Eddie and ends with a Stefan.
Eddie Stefan.
Eddie, you are a winner, my brother.
I'm gonna give away another one. You guys want another one?
Heck yeah, they want another one.
Douglas Chitron. Douglas Chitron. I'm gonna give away 3. Heck, I'm gonna give away 4, Dave.
Oh,
Let's just
4.
give away 4. I'm in a good
Here we
mood,
go.
man. You guys want some hats?
Douglas Chitron.
Hey, show me some love, man. Come on, if you show me some love, show me some hearts. We're getting ready to wrap up here. Let's talk about the next winner.
Oh, Aaron Wool.
Aaron,
Whoa.
you win a hat. Auto
Aaron
Dealer
Wool.
University. Hey, the only condition is you guys got to rock the hats on social media, man. I got to see them.
Yeah, let's see some selfies.
I can't give her one. She could get one anyway. That's one of our own. I don't want to give. I want to give one more away here. That's one of our own. This Kim Lasorsa.
John Gillis.
Did we
Come
give
on
away a
down.
female?
John Gillis.
I got to give away one. I'm gonna
we
go
gave
into.
away one female. I
Yeah,
thought.
that's Kim's.
No. I thought there was another one.
Here we go. Here we go. We're gonna give away 5
not.
hats. Here you go. What's that one there?
Emily Bauer.
Emily
Come on
Bauer.
down.
You're the
Emily
next
Bauer.
contestant on the Auto Dealer Live hat.
You have won a hat.
Boom. Hey,
All right. Very cool.
I love it.
Thank you. Very generous too, by the way. You're giving
Man.
away so much stuff lately. That's
Man,
awesome.
I just love it. I love this industry. I love these people. All right, Lou, you got anything? You want to say, man? Any words of wisdom?
Oh man.
Hey, Glenn. How about Glenn Lundy's voice, man? I mean, like we're asking Glenn a question and he's like, it's like strategic pause. It's like,
He waits. He's like,
listen. It's like,
There's a wait.
well,
over here at
Glenn
Dan
Lundy.
Cummins Chevrolet,
This
we
is Glenn.
rise and grind.
it's Glenn Lundy here at midnight on the rise and grind. I mean, it's like Barry White,
Barry White.
a little bump.
I don't know why I thought Barry Manilow.
Yeah, you almost said Barry Manilow. It's like Barry Manilow.
This is Glenn Lundy
Barry Manilow.
on the rise and grind. I mean, his voice, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
You ready, man?
I'm ready.
Hey, you get a hat too, bro. Come on, you get
Oh,
one anyway.
dude,
you
I'm-
want one? You don't want one of these white ones, do you? Which
Dave
one?
went straight Oprah. You get a hat.
I gotta look
You
at
get
it.
a hat.
You get a hat. You get a hat. No, you get a hat.
I'm gonna check under my seat, see if I
Check
want a
under
car.
the All right. Hey, man.
Oh,
Good stuff, right?
Good
Very
stuff.
Thank you.
Next week, my friend.
Next week we'll do it again.
Love you, bro. Appreciate you.
Love you too.
Love
We'll
you
see
guys.
next week on ADL.